Waifus. Everyone is familiar with the term, and let's be honest, everyone has one, or possibly many. Whether she be 2D, 3D, or possibly even real with the mythical girlfriend or even wife. But I think it's fair to say that waifus are the very thing that holds our society together. I mean, waifus are the reason that we get out of bed in the morning, the reason we go to school or work. Almost every action we take can be traced back to the waifu. Now, the question is, where do we find our waifus? Well, that's very simple. Generally, they're found in the things we enjoy, whether it be a TV show, an anime, a comic book, or even a video game. In today's video, I want to discuss the latter, and in particular the waifus that are available in the ever-popular Bethesda title, Skyrim, and just give a little bit of insight on who in fact is the best waifu available in the game. So who are the candidates for the best waifu in Skyrim? Well, there are many options for NPCs who are marryable to the player, but we'll only talk about a few that are the most popular options that the community dubs as the best. In my countless hours of research, I have concluded there are three main candidates that the community likes the most, being Ysolda, the young pretty upstart merchant from Whiterun. There is also Aela the Huntress, the strong and beautiful Nord woman who is a well-respected member of the Companions. And lastly, we have Serana, the big titty goth vampire GF that we've all dreamed about. Now, every one of them on the surface seems like a pretty solid option to make your waifu, but what if I told you that none of them are the best option? Nay, the best waifu in Skyrim fails to get the recognition she deserves from the community. My hope with this video is to put a spotlight on her, and hopefully show the community what they're missing out on. Now, before we discuss who the best waifu is in Skyrim, I want to first tell you why the three most popular options aren't really that great of options. So let's start with Ysolda. Now, Skyrim is a world where you gain the love and affection of the waifus by completing tasks for them. This is mostly a gameplay mechanic and doesn't necessarily reflect real human relationships, but I digress. The objective Ysolda wants you to complete to earn her love is to bring her a mammoth's tusk. Now Ysolda, I just have a few simple questions for you. Who exactly do you think you are? I mean, do you have any comprehension of how difficult it is to acquire a mammoth's tusk? Mammoths are one of, if not the strongest animals in the entire country of Skyrim, and that's not to mention the giants that are also protecting them. So you expect me, just one guy, to walk into a giant's camp, kill at least 2 giants, and 1, maybe even more mammoths, because I have to kill everything, because they're not just going to let me walk in there and cut a piece of a tusk off. This is a totally absurd task that she wants you to complete, but there are ways around it. You could always steal a mammoth's tusk from somewhere, but here's the flaw with that. That would be basing your relationship on a lie, and basing your relationship on a lie makes it flimsy at best, so this isn't the best option for anything long term. Another option is you could always buy one from another merchant, but yet again there's a fatal flaw with this. You should never buy love, that just makes it fake and also doomed to fail. So your only real option is to go into the camp and destroy its inhabitants to impress milady. For sake of example, let's say that you're a mythical being that can pause time and chug potions to give yourself an edge. So, you go into the camp, you kill everything, and you rip the tusk out of the face of the mammoth, and bring your still bloody prize to Ysolda. Well, she'll be very impressed and gladly marry you, but there's still a huge problem with her. Ysolda doesn't love you because she thinks you're funny, or because she formed a real bond with you. No, she loves the fact that you're strong, and that's it. This makes Ysolda's love superficial and shallow. Like, just take a moment to think about it. Do you think she wouldn't have married Hrognar if he had been the one to bring her the tusk? No. Ysolda doesn't care about companionship. She just wants the man who's the strongest because she's way too entitled, and quite honestly, it's not an attractive trait. So moving on now to Aela the Huntress. Of the three, I'll admit she's the best option by far, but she still has a big flaw. Now, to earn Aela's love, you need to become the leader of the Companions and free Codlak's soul from Hairsign's realm of oblivion so he may rest in Sovngarde. Now, this as well is a very tall order. However, the difference between her and Ysolda is that Aela will actually be along with you for most of this journey, helping you along the way and growing a bond with you. Now, this all sounds great. I mean, she's loyal, and it's plausible that she formed a real relationship with the player in this time and doesn't want to marry you just because you're in charge now, unlike some of the other companion members. But Aela's big flaw comes with her loyalty, actually, and how it's just not to you. See, Aela and the character Skior were in a relationship, and unfortunately, during the companion's questline, Skior dies to a group of werewolf hunters known as the Silver Hand. Now, Aela holds her emotions on the situation in check, and is even willing to move on and remarry not too long after his death. However, there's one thing about this whole situation. Aela will never cure her lycanthropy, even though there is a cure available, for the simple reason that Skior died as a werewolf, meaning his soul is in Hairsign's realm. Aela wants to die a werewolf as well, so she may one day rejoin Skior in the afterlife so they may hunt together for the rest of time. Now, this may just be a personal opinion, but I don't want to get in the middle of something like that. I mean, in my mind, if I'm going to marry someone, I want them to join me in the afterlife, not some other guy. And that's just the thing of it. No matter what you do, you will always be that some other guy because her heart simply already belongs to Skior. So in the end, Aela isn't a bad person or really superficial like Ysolda. She just simply is another man's waifu, and the only reason she would be with you is because her man is dead, and You just gotta respect that. So now we have Serana. Oh boy, Serana. Let me just put this out there. If it wasn't for one massive flaw, she would maybe take the #1 waifu spot in Skyrim, but this one flaw is so bad that it knocks her out of the race for best waifu completely, in my opinion. And that simply is that without mods, you can't even marry her. Now, as I said earlier in Skyrim, it's a game where you earn the love of the waifus by completing tasks for them. Well, what exactly do you do for Serana? Where do we begin? First, we wake her up from an ancient tomb, then proceed to walk her across the entire country back to her house to meet her dad. Just imagine this for a second. Take wherever you are, and then imagine walking to the other side of the country, and not just walking, but needing to fight off bandits, bears, giant spiders, dragons, and also the whole time the girl you're escorting is complaining about the weather being bad. Sounds awful, right? But you do it because she's like some top tier waifu material, so let's continue. What else do you do for her? Well, after you finish this journey, she's just like, okay, thanks, and then you just kind of leave, unless you decide to become a vampire, but like, come on, who wants to be a vampire in Skyrim? That's super lame and inconvenient. So then after you leave, she gets into a fight with her dad, and then she shows up at your castle and wants you to help her find these Elder Scrolls and read them. This requires, again, walking around the entire country and doing lots of dangerous stuff. Reading these scrolls makes this one guy go blind, but then you're expected to take on that risk and read one because she needs answers. I also haven't mentioned the fact that you go to 2 completely different dimensions for this girl. Once to meet her mom, and once to kill some snow elf vampire guy. Then in the end of all this, you kill her dad for her. Like, come on, you don't do anything even close to this for any other person in the entire game. And what's your reward? Okay, thanks, I guess I'll keep following you, but like, we can't get married because temples make me uncomfortable. Like, seriously? Now, I'm not trying to imply that just because you're nice to someone and you do stuff for them that they're obligated to do relationship stuff with you, but like, there's also a point where you can get angry because someone is clearly just leading you on and using you. Serana's the type of chick that will go out on a date with you only to get a free meal, and might give you a kiss on the cheek so you'll take her out again when she wants another free meal, and I'm just going to come out and say it. That's just toxic, and no one deserves to be used like that. In the end, Serana isn't a waifu. She's a thought that shouldn't be allowed to tarnish the good title of waifu. So now that we've pointed out all the flaws and the most popular options for the Skyrim waifus, let me reveal to you the true best waifu of Skyrim. Now, she is someone that we all know and have had following us at one point. I'm talking about none other than Lydia. Now, you may be surprised to hear this, but let me explain to you why Lydia is in fact the best waifu. As I've said a few times in this video already, in Skyrim you earn love by completing objectives for the waifus. Do you want to know what you have to do to make Lydia fall in love with you? Simply be yourself. Whether you're a man, woman, catman, lizard man, Lydia doesn't care because she loves you for who you are, and the significance of that cannot be overstated. She's the only waifu in Skyrim that actually loves the player. Not only is her love real, but she's also the most loyal companion in all of Skyrim. Lydia will follow you to the deepest, darkest depths of oblivion, carrying your burdens all along the way, and not because she's sworn to like she sometimes says, but because she loves you, and only you. Lydia is a beautiful, strong Nord woman, and in my eyes, the only woman in all of Skyrim who is worthy of being called the Dragonborn's waifu. She will fight by your side and still manage to give you a home-cooked meal every day, even though you've been nowhere near a cooking area because her love is just that powerful. Now, I just may be a bit old-fashioned. Sure, the other options have some nice qualities, I suppose, but none offer the most important parts of a good relationship, being loyalty, trust, and acceptance. And that's a complete deal-breaker for me. But Lydia offers all of these things and so much more. So I say to you now, take off those rose-colored glasses and see the other waifus for what they are, and turn your attention to the one who's been there for you from the very beginning. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Cody B, and I'll see you all in the next video very soon. Peace.